What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is your friend, your favorite veterans. Just playing. And this is Johnny E. And this afternoon, we have a great show for you guys. Like I said last week, we're about to bring somebody to our platform who's going to give you so much information. And I hope those information is able to help you and change your life. And that's what we do. And it's all about connections. It's about the thing that you don't know, the thing that you don't realize going on, that are going on in our community. So we're not gonna do a long introduction because we're only gonna keep Bruce here for a short amount of time. So if you missed the stream, if you're at work or somewhere and you wasn't able to participate, it's okay. We'll post it. After that, you'll get a chance to view the video and you get a chance to ask the questions. And if you do, and we can answer those questions for you, we'll send them over to Bruce. Bruce, my friend, what's happening?
Hey, Johnny, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Hey, I appreciate you take the time to come to Vets Talk to talk to us. And I know you're a busy man, but you say, hey, I'm going to give you some times, and you're giving us some times, and I'm grateful for your time.
It's one of the most important things we have to do is we have to talk with each other and share resources, information, opportunities. And yes, we're all busy, but you got to carve out that time because maybe tonight you say something that's going to help me. I say something that might help you. And most importantly, together, we're both going to say some things that are going to help those who are watching live and those who are be watching the recording. So that's what it's all about, is taking care of one another.
That is so true, man. I mean, that's what we've been doing for a long time. So because we're on the other side now, because we're in the civilian side now, doesn't mean that stop. Bruce, give me a favor. Tell everybody who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, so we can make everybody feel like family right now.
All right. Well, I'm Bruce Thompson. I'm the Vice President for Vets2Industry. I also work as part of the Project Management Institute team. So as you're taking all those PMP and CAPM and other certifications,
Mm-hmm.
uh, don't blame me, but yes, I do have something to do with the test. That's as far as I'm going to go there.
All right.
I'm a retired Marine Corps veteran. I've been retired for 5.5 years now. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida, hanging out with my huge military and veteran community. And most importantly, I'm the guy who didn't know or understand what transition really meant. And I recognized that before I transitioned. So I was out there doing research on everything.
Hmm.
And now I'm the guy who uh, wants to share everything that I've learned, that I've done over this past 7 years of being in the transition space with others. Because if I can keep you from having the hiccup, the road bump, the the running into the wall, the figuring things out before it gets to be an issue, I've done my job,
Nice.
which is we all have to take care of those who come after us, those that are out here, and those that have been out for a while and are, maybe COVID, flipped the script on them, and they went from being successful to struggling. So we're here to help that, and again, no one is going to help veterans more than fellow veterans. So
True.
that's who I am. That's where I'm at. Quick little background. Uh, yeah, and if you notice, other people know me as Batman.
Yeah. All right. Bruce, can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, you're so right, man. Um, I don't think when you active duty, you have no idea what the transition is about. I mean, you think you have an
No.
idea, but you don't. Because personally, I went through that in 2018, and I thought I was prepared. I'm the guy who went to O2O. I did, I did a lot of stuff. I thought I was prepared, but until you're on the other side, and a lot of stuff is hitting you left and right. And for me, it was a little bit more difficult because, like Orlando is not as huge as as far as military concerned, like it is in Jacksonville. So the resources that are readily available in Jacksonville is not what we got in Orlando. So I had to reach out, and it's people like you who help people like me, even when we're far away, to better understand our current situation and able to establish a pattern, or able to find something to do positively. And you mentioned earlier that you're part of the O2O the Vets2Industry program. Can you tell us what is Vet2Industry? Can you break it down for us?
No problem. So, Vet2Industry, we all came about because our founder and president, Brian Arrington, when he was retiring out of the Air Force, he went to his transition program, and one of the facilitators said, there's like 40,000 plus military and veteran resources out there. Brian's all excited, because, he's Air Force, they get excited about certain things. They still have energy. They don't have their bodies broken down like some of us Marines and other services do. But when they told him, well, there is no website, there is no list, he was like, what? And like we like to say, he said, hold my rip it. And he went out and created Vets2Industry LLC. And people ask, why did he create Vets2Industry LLC? He's like, because it was just the easiest thing to do. Because we're like, we should be a nonprofit. Like, why are we? Yeah. And so we are an actual nonprofit. We are a 501c3, veteran-owned, minority veteran-owned, and operated. But what we do is we've built a free resource library that's on our website, vets2industry.org. And it has over 1,000 resources, and we keep adding to them. One of the biggest things that we love to say is we are in competition with absolutely no one. If there's another organization that's out there and doing an amazing job, getting the resources and information out, we don't want to try to, reinvent their wheel. We want you to tell you, hey, here they are. Go talk to them, and that's what our resource library is about. And then the other thing was, we started kind of out, and we started right beginning of 2020. Mm-hmm. So of course this silly little thing called COVID, reared its ugly head, and we turned from doing an in-person event to at the end of March to doing a virtual event, probably the second week of April, and it's a Zoom call. We do these every month, and it's up to 500 individuals on a Zoom call on a Saturday, and I'm about to scare everybody, for 5 hours. Yes, I said 5 hour Zoom call on a Saturday. Right now, people are like, nope, not doing it. I tell you, once you hop on this call, the 5 hours is going to go fly by for you. The amount of information, resources, benefits, connections, employment opportunities that you find are going to blow your mind. I've been on this call where we've been there for 5 hours, and I'm like, it's been like 90 minutes. What's going on? But it happened that well, And we have great guest speakers. Keynote speakers come in, talk to us something about the military veteran transition process. We come back out there. It is not unusual for us to have over 50 employers that are there looking to hire military, transitioning military, veterans, military/veteran spouses, Guard, Reserve. They show up because they know we have the talent. So we have Bruce, resources, like you said.
I want the people who's gonna watch or who's watching right now to understand what you're saying. Those are actual hiring managers or actual recruiters from different industry.
Yes,
who's in the Zoom call and basically looking for the perfect candidate to join the organization.
I would tell you, we host virtual networking events. We're not a job fair, career fair. No, we are a networking event. Every single one of our events comes away with people having interviews. Many people, walking away with the job.
Wow.
They're there, and we're not talking, you know, local thing. We're nationwide. We have people that actually come to us from overseas. They stay up in the middle of the night, because they're getting ready to retire or transition from Oconus back to the States. And so they're trying to find that network that you have to build. They're trying to find those companies that are looking to hire people with their talent. And I'll tell you, FEMA is almost always, I will say they're 90% of the time or higher in attendance. Kohl's is always with us. Amazon is regularly with us. We've had Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Harris has been there, and these are some of those, Fortune, 500 companies.
Yeah.
We also have companies that are located all the way across that are there. We have a lot of military or military spouse, veteran-owned organizations that are coming there because they know the power of a veteran, and so they want to hire and tap into this. And again, you name it, we can find it. And if someone's not on the call, that's okay, because the power of the individuals that are on there is going to get you connected to the right individual. I mean, I had a friend reach out today and was like, "Oh, you found a job with this company? No problem. Let me get you to, the people who are above those that you really are looking for."
Yeah.
But I got you that one, which gave them a direct connection to have them reach out to so-and-so and let them know that I told you to.
Nice.
So nothing like, that referral I was able to do today. And this happens constantly. We have our events once a quarter. We hold a military spouse networking mixer. So it's the same thing, except we go a couple hours shorter, and we target things that are focusing on the military and veteran spouses. They're the most, underemployed, unemployed group. There's a huge stigma about hiring them because they're just going to move.
Yeah, especially for spouses, they usually have a break in the career. Because for example, for my wife, when I transitioned from Jacksonville to here, she had to take a couple years off because we went from living on base to an area that we were not sure. You have little kids, somebody, somebody had to take a break. And how difficult it is when after that break and trying to go back and trying to find employment. It's very difficult.
And I'll tell you, it's one of the great things that we have is we've partnered with, incredible resources, organizations, and we help explain how to, for those who have breaks in employment, how to cover that gap and explain, well, I might not have been a W-2 worker during that period, but I volunteered. I maintained, the household budget. I ran a daycare service because, it was something I could do. Hey, we can get these people on remote positions, and it's a way for them to work part-time or even full-time and maintain employment history. And again, I'll tell you, military spouses, they volunteer more than probably anyone we know. And many of them don't think to use that volunteerism to explain what they've been doing during this quote unquote gap.
Yeah.
It's not that they haven't worked.
Yeah.
It's
just
amazing
the fact that it's amazing you say that, because during that gap, that's when we had those small businesses and everything. Well, she runs that, and that was like, well, technically it's not a gap. You're running a small business.
And that's what we have to explain is, so many people like, well, I'm not doing that much. Okay, well, let's not talk about that. tell me what you're doing, and we'll determine if it's that much or not. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, so you're running like 4 different things, uh, small businesses, side hustles, while still maintaining, the house, the
Mm-hmm.
budget, all the schedules of soccer and cheerleading and bake sales
Mm-hmm.
and whatever the events are, you know. So there's so much going on, and we help pull that out of them so they understand that. We talk to them about all these different things that they can fill. And again, transitioning service members, veterans, just because you did this job in service doesn't mean that's the job you want to do for the next 30, 40, 50 years of your life. I'll tell you, I did communication electronics maintenance. you know I was good at maintenance management, and I did it for communications equipment. I did it for ordnance equipment. I did it for rolling stock, transportation equipment. It's not what I wanted to do when I got out, because it was like Groundhog Day over and over again. It's maintenance.
Yeah.
Something's broke, you got to fix it. And there's never a time when something isn't broke. And just when you think you caught up, all of a sudden someone shows up and says, "Oh, by the way, I broke all this equipment again." Or you get into manufacturing, and it's all about on-time deliveries, and you're juggling that schedule. So I was like tapped out. I didn't want to do that. I went and got my MBA in human resource management, and I said, the one thing we never have to worry about is running out of people. So if you stay in the people business, you'll always have a need for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I am, between my volunteerism, some of my employment history that I've done. It's all been about connecting with others and bridging gaps, and informing people of what could make or break them. And I love talking, like you said,
Yeah,
onward
man.
opportunity. That's a
Exactly.
great program.
Oh man,
You know,
it's amazing, man.
now they got this DOD Skill Bridge thing. You know, it kind of existed when I was transitioning 5.5 years ago,
Yeah,
but
but
it
it
didn't
was
really
difficult.
exist. And so now you have that, and it's like, oh, look at this great opportunity. You can get civilian training while still receiving that military paycheck, and oh, by the way, you get to take the uniform off a little sooner.
You mentioned the DOD bridge skill. When I was transitioning and actually doing the application for it, I was doing the application, but it was foreign to my chain of command because it wasn't as popular how it is right now. So do vets to industry have some of those reps sometimes in your guys' Zoom calls?
So what we have is a lot of individuals that are knowledgeable enough to speak to it,
Mm-hmm.
and again, depending on the call,
Yeah.
if someone shows interest in a DoD skill bridge and wants to learn more about it, we connect them with the 50 Strong, which is a great organization out of Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
We connect them with uh, a couple of the Facebook groups. Dave Shantz, who's our DoD skill bridge champion, and he's the person that I go to when I have questions about it. But that's what we're about. If I don't personally know it, I know people who do, and I'm smart enough to tell people, hey, I'm not that right person to give you the answer, but I'm the right person to connect you to the person who can answer that question for you. And that's what we're about. Those of us who are in this transition space, you know, we're smart enough to know that we're not the all knowledge, all knowing. You pull back the curtain, and instead of finding Oz, what you find is that we're all connected and talking to each other back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
making introductions and recommendations. And there's companies who I personally go out there and get them sold on the DoD Skill Bridge program, and then I connect them with people in the local community for them. Hey, this is who you can talk to, and they will help walk you through the process to get you set up. You know, and, and again, I think besides the GI Bill, that DoD Skill Bridge is probably the next best transition thing that's come out in the last couple of decades.
Nice. Earlier, Bruce, you mentioned spouse, independent. uh, we have to emphasize that when you're talking about dependent, you're talking about like when the veterans or active duty personnel, like the kids, you guys able
But
to assist with that? Because some of us have, kids that are grown. We call them kids, but they're 20,
yeah,
21, 26,
I, I'm right there. I got the baby's 24 and has a baby of her own. So when I talk about dependents, I talk about adult age dependents that are entering the workforce. So whether that be the 16, 17, 18-year old that are still in school and looking for that part-time job and starting to build, just their work history, or that's someone who is graduated high school, uh, is not going to go to college, not join the military, but they're
Mm-hmm.
looking for that. What am I going to do post high school? We bring them in. They're right there. They need employment assistance. The worst thing it was, and I'm going to tell you, I did a couple months shy of 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
I never wrote a resume in my life. All of a sudden, I'm coming up here, and you know, I I'll just tell you, I was in my early 40s, um, maybe closer to my mid 40s, but still. Um, and I was writing the resume for the first time in my life. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was out there like, hey, this is how awesome I am. And, I was sitting there writing, I love me about myself. And it had nothing to do with the job I was trying to apply for. You know, I, I didn't know anything about like, applicant tracking systems. I didn't understand, you know, I networked with everybody, but it was the talking,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, yeah, I got numbers, but they weren't relationships. They
Yeah.
weren't people that were really networking for a purpose. And, and all of a sudden, I was trying to go through all this stuff, and I'm the first one to tell you, I went to the mandatory transition program twice. Both times I left very frustrated, angry, disappointed, and I had to go find, and I transitioned out of San Diego County up at Camp Pendleton, which is North San Diego County,
Mm-hmm.
and I found a transition workshop uh, that was ran by a local nonprofit. If it was not for Janice and Betsy with Vet CTAP,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I'd be. That first night we're in class and you're supposed to show up with a resume. I had a piece of paper, and there was some ink. There was some ink on it, but let me tell you, it was not a resume.
Yeah,
And
man.
and when they come by, and my wife was there with me because I was like, hey, I need my cheerleader, my supporter to come out there and kind of help me, so I I feel comfortable doing it. And I brought a fellow master sergeant, and I had a retired master guns that I worked with,
Mm-hmm.
and right beside me was my old lieutenant colonel's spouse. And so we were all there. But when Janice was walking around asking for us to hand over our resumes, I was kind of like, nope, don't got it. Trying to put it away and hide it. And finally, between my wife and Janice, it was like, give it up. And I handed it over, and I was like, professionally embarrassed by myself.
Yeah.
Um, it it was it was a waste of ink and paper. I might as well have wrote, I have no idea what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
on a piece of paper and handed it over. Uh, but she looked at it, and then she looked back at me and said, this is why we're here. We're going to fix this. And that was Monday night's class. I tell you, when I showed up for Wednesday night's class, I had a resume that at least looked like a resume. I'm not going to say it was all good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it looked like a resume. And I was like, here's one for you. Here's one for you. Like, red ink this to pieces, and,
Yeah. It was.
and let me learn.
It's because it was a different world. It's
Yeah,
and we don't realize that you actually living something you've been doing like your entire life, well, for most part of your life, to brand new to a system that you don't understand was completely different.
and I'm going to be the first one to tell you. The first time I had an interview of any sorts, I was at a Bradley Morris hiring event. So it's a weekend where Saturday they introduce you to everybody, you kind of
Yeah.
network, meet around. Sunday you show up and interview. I had 13 interviews that day. those are my first 13 interviews I've ever had in my life. And the first one went great. I'm like, this interview thing, what's everybody complaining about? This is easy. And then the second one hit, and it was like, oh, like what? That train just ran me over.
Yeah.
Like what happened there? And then there's a couple more like that, and then there's a couple that went okay. And I'm going to tell you, I'm the guy who, when they said, "Tell me about yourself," said, "Well, I grew up in a small farming community in Southern California," and I'm like, and my mind is like, "No, you're doing it wrong. Shut up." My mouth was like, "Blah blah 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 blah," and I kept going. I was like, and I remember looking at their faces, and they were smiling and laughing, but they understood that that's a lot of us who'd never done this before, so they understood that we're going to have some of those.
Of course.
But after that was done, I had enough success that gave me the, hey, I really did good. And then you had some of those bad ones where, well, what do you expect? This was the first time during certain ones, but you learn from those.
Boost, I'm gonna ask you a very difficult questions. The homeless community have a great number of veterans, that are homeless, right? And we have so many programs out there, so many organizations. Where do you think is the disconnection?
So first, I'll tell you, one of the pillars for Vets2insdustry is if we do our job, we are going to reduce the number of homeless veterans and the number of veterans that follow the suicide path. Because if we can do our job and help transition not only to a job, but to understanding of a career and putting hope, in that mindset, and removing some of this stress and like going through this enormous, like, I had my uniform, I had my rank, I had this, I was really something, and then a magical day on the calendar hit, and I was no longer, what my rank said. I was no longer part of this excellent community and program, and it was just like, oh, you into services here, whether that's retirement or separation, and it's kind of like, all right, bye, see ya, have a good life, and they're just lost. So if we can get them into the program and understanding how it goes and get them transitioned properly, we can reduce a lot of that. And as far as those that are currently homeless or close to being, there are multiple reasons. Some, and those of us who are in service, we've heard those that said we're going to get out and live off unemployment for the first year. And we're like, that's not really a game plan, but that's what they kind of had.
Yeah.
And as the longer you've been out of work, the harder it is to get back into employment. The best time to find a job is when you have a job. And once they kind of start going down that one, the wheels are just spinning and they can't get traction. And we start getting further and further down that rabbit hole. And military members and veterans, we've been trained that we can do it. We don't ask for help. It's weakness asking for help. And we got all these stereotypes and everything that's thrown into our minds. And so there are incredible programs out there, both locally, within the county, the state, and federally. But no one wants to reach out and take that first step and admit that they need help. And some have to hit rock bottom and then some before they'll ask for help. Or it could be one of those ones where we just happen to be walking by each other one day and, I'm just like, hey, something doesn't seem right. Like, are you okay? And actually asking that and stopping to hear the answer. Because we always walk by everybody and say,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing, whatever else. If there's an answer, we're halfway down the block before we would have heard it. So it's taking that time, it's stopping, it's listening to it. It's going out to different events. It's, hitting the streets. connecting with those individuals that are working with our homeless community, with our unemployed community, and putting yourself in that situation. And I will tell you, I'm lucky. I got here to Jacksonville, Florida. We moved here. We didn't know anyone, never been here before in our lives. We just picked it on the map. It had all the military veteran resources available. It had the beach, which was a big thing because we came from San Diego, so we had to have a beach. And we just came to the other side of the states, which had this beach because that's my wife's requirement. And we met up with some great people that were part of the Mission Continues team here in Jacksonville. And amongst them, all the different branches of service, we had a couple that had attempted suicide and survived. And its switch was flipped for them. We had people that were facing, alcoholism, drug use, domestic abuse, not being able to find employment. But they gathered together as a team, and they helped each other overcome. And so we hopped right in with that one. It was like, you guys are the type of people we want to be working with, those that are helping the community, that are actually standing there waiting to hear the answer. And not only waiting to hear the answer, but connecting with those people who will take us into the woods, that will take us to where, the homeless are living. Because I'm sorry, we can do all the surveys we want to, but you get someone who's got a clipboard and they're all dressed up and they got their jeans and a polo on or a t-shirt representing, and you start coming up and asking people questions. Veterans are smart enough not to answer those questions. We're like, hey, we know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, we don't trust you. So you got to come back and find out where they are and show trust and have those kneecap to kneecap conversations. And, I'm not better than anyone. I'm just didn't have to go through the same circumstances. And sometimes it's just pure luck.
Exactly.
And it's asking them, everything that you can, but in the end, they still have to ask for help. It's one of those ones, you can't force someone to take the assistance. They have to be able to ask for help. And we're so lucky in this community here in Jacksonville that we have so many organizations, resources, and people that give a damn. But I will tell you, they're out there in San Diego. They're out in San Antonio. I tell you right now, they're in Georgia. I can tell you somebody in every state that is going to show up and be that resource you can ask for. And that's before we talk about the state and federal programs to help. But again, someone has to put forth that effort so we can get there and help them. Because you can't just say, hey, we're going to make you do this. Oh, no. You can't tell me what I have to do anymore.
Bruce, you've been in the civilian sector, you say, for 7 years now, right?
Right. Well, 5.5.
5.5.
But I started the transition process a couple years earlier.
Okay. So what is the most important lesson you learned that you can share with us since you've been a civilian for so long?
Well, one, I'm not a civilian. I'm a veteran.
You're a veteran. You know what I mean.
No, I'm just saying, but we who have served will never truly go back to being a civilian. We are forever changed by whatever boot camp, transition or training course you had. And there's things that we've been through, we've done that civilians will never understand. And so I don't say that like I'm better or anything else. No, it's just the reality of there's so much that was put into us for our training and for what we did for 2, 4, 20, 30, 50 years, however long the people served. It gives us a different view of the world, a different perspective. And so we have to understand that is when we go back out, we don't speak the same language. We see things completely different than our counterparts who have never served do. And I'm not saying that makes us better or worse or anything. I'm just saying there's a difference. We have to understand that. We have to be willing to learn their world. We have to be able to learn that we can't go around and I'm going to do it. We're going to knife hand you. you got to put this away. That's no longer good. You know, Service members, we might be known for our colorful language.
Yeah.
We might be known for being a little bit loud, being a
Yep.
little direct. Well, those are going to get you in trouble. You have to be able to learn and adjust and put yourself in a new environment. And for some people, it's easy as can be. For others, it's like trying to drop me in the middle of a foreign country with a language that I have no clue about, and go and find someplace to live and somebody to hire me so I can have money for rent and food.
Hmm.
It's very hard. So what I tell you, before you transition, before you leave service, I don't care what your rank is. I don't care if you're a spouse, adult age dependent, a service member. Start early. I recommend 2 years prior to you leaving service, and I don't care if you're separating or retiring, 2 years prior, you've got to start figuring out, what do I want to do with my life? You know, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I tell you, I'm a mentor on Veterati. It's a great website. It's
Hmm.
a free resource. You can have 1 hour conversations with mentors across a lot of uh, different industries and levels of experience. But 80% of the people I talk to do not know what they want to do post service. And if you don't know what you want to do post service, I can't really talk to you about your resume, because we're going to spin our wheels, because we're not writing towards an industry or a position. We can't talk about certain organizations because we need to know what what you want to do, and does that organization have a role like that for you. We still got to figure out where you want to live. And if you tell me, I want to be part of uh, you know the space industry,
Hmm.
well, you're probably not going to be working in you know the Midwest. We're going to be coming down in the Houston, coming down here in Florida,
Hmm.
and you're going to have these areas that you'll want to be in. Otherwise, you have the military make that final move for you, and then all of a sudden you realize that, oh, well, I moved to uh, South Dakota. Well, there's no jobs in the space industry there, so now I'm going to move to Cocoa Beach, Florida. Well, now you got to pay for that move by yourself. You
Yeah.
might have made your move and you're stuck there because you can't afford to move again.
It's
And these are
funny.
all those things that we have to make sure people understand.
Yeah, it's funny
Um,
you mentioned that. My neighbor was a Korean vet. I think he's about. I think he's probably 70 years old. I was just talking to him, right? It's like he feel like he's always in transitions.
yes.
So he said it feels like he's always in transition. Even now that he retired again and he's at home, and he say, I'm still in transitions. I've been in transitions for a long time, and I think a lot of us, for not saying all of us, feel that way, because it's very difficult when you are doing a specific job for a specific mission or whatever, and now you out and you have to pick what you want to do, and that's why you see a lot of people's coming out are not sure what they want to do. You know.
Right. Right. And I will tell you, we view it as you'll always be in transition, whether that's transition um, from military to the civilian sector, whether you're you know transitioning from uh, administrative job to a hands-on manual labor type of position. Who knows? Whether you go out there and you're transitioning from service to college, there's all these different things you can do. And once we get out, this is the big ugly thing that you know they figured it within your first 2 years. 60 um, 60 to 70% of veterans will leave their first position within 2 years. I'll tell you, within the first 12 months, I was on my third position.
I think I was
I
too.
left my first job. I left my first job after 4 weeks. It paid great. It was convenient, but it didn't have anything that I wanted to do. There was no gratification for me going. It was like, oh, this is a nice check, but that's all it is.
Yeah.
And then I got found on LinkedIn, and and let me tell you right now, everybody who's in service still, talking about maybe I want to transition, and all those who are in the transition, LinkedIn is your friend. Say it
Listen,
with me. LinkedIn is your
I
friend.
did not
Create your profile.
listen.
Build that network.
I did not realize how important LinkedIn is until I start doing the vet stock. Okay, and I'm in the process. I'm trying to get Sam Lee so bad because he's a guru when it comes to LinkedIn. But and
Well, let me tell you,
he's great,
I
man.
I know Sam personally. We work on things all the time. So you need to get Sam. You just let me know. I'll help you get him.
Man, listen, I hit Sam up at least 2 or 3 times already. I know he's busy. He said, "I'm gonna get back to you. I don't forget. I'm gonna get back to you." But
Oh,
and I
I'll
think,
I'll help twist his arm.
yeah,
I'll get him there for you.
yeah, man, and it's so valuable, man, and it's so much information. But when we talk about even training, like the information that they have as far as training, different program you can train on. And for us who's veteran, you have the LinkedIn Premium that is free. Man,
Now, it's also free for military or veteran spouses.
spouses.
So a military spouse can get a free year of LinkedIn Premium every time they do a permanent change of station move, to include transitioning out, uh, military veteran spouses. Go to that link. And it's like one step more than what the veterans have to do. But you go to the link, you fill it back out, and it's there for you. Military transitioners, be smart about how you use that 1 year free. Don't start that 12 months out and then be like, when you transition, you're really like, I need this, because
Yeah,
it's how people find you.
exactly.
It's expiring. I tell you, kind of you can do a lot with the free account and getting your profile set up, get everything up and running, and have some of us that live on LinkedIn review your profile and give you tips, hints, and how we can kind of tweak this for you.
And I apply. Then
But
another thing,
you
like,
need to be using LinkedIn, and when you get that premium, you get access to LinkedIn Learning. You name a topic, you're going to find training on it. You can go back out there and take tests to validate what skill level you are when it's and many a thing, but basically the Microsoft Office and all those programs under it, you can go certify as if you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an expert with that. And there are plenty of people that are looking for. If you are an Excel guru, let me tell you, we have plenty of people that want you.
yeah.
And I'm one of those intermediate users on Excel. I'm dangerous, but I might click a couple things where I don't know what happened. But and there's other programs and different types of software where you can kind of figure out who you are, where you're at, and as my dog decides that he needs to be on my
And
lap.
you know what? That's all right. Put it on your lap, man. The other thing is for those of us who have program like this, to be able to do it live in LinkedIn, they check your profile. Okay,
Yeah.
trust me, I have applied twice, and I'm on my third time, and I got my finger crossed. I had a good feeling about this. I got my finger
Yeah.
crossed.
And again, it's like everything. It's kind of daunting, but once you kind of get into it and you kind of get, okay, this is the algorithm. Okay, this is the do's and the don'ts,
Mm-hmm.
we're good. And one of the things that everybody finds hard is, how do I connect with somebody I don't know? Well, let me tell you, you reach out and find a reason for you, a common denominator, and whatever that common denominator, maybe it's because you're both in the Army, the Coast Guard, uh, maybe you're both, and we serve in the same branch, we're in the same city. That's enough right there to reach out and say, I'm transitioning. I'm looking to connect with those that have already made their transition and can give me some tips and hints as to how to be successful and not stumble like so many of us do. And if you reach out to a fellow veteran, and on LinkedIn, you always want to send a personalized note. It doesn't need to be a paragraph, but something that shows why you're reaching out. Now, obviously, if you know the individual, no
Yeah.
worries. You can just send that connection request, you're good. But if you don't know them and you're reaching out because you want to ask for some of their time, start with a note. You will be very successful. If you send a generic, just click to connect, I screen every single one that sends me a blank connection request. And I have to figure out what our connection is, why you're reaching out to me. Uh, and I'm probably better than most because if I can't figure it out, I'm probably going to send you an email and give you an opportunity to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Most will just hit ignore and move on. So, like everything, you got to figure out how to use the system to your advantage, and you got to learn the rules to the game. And just like when you went to military service, every time we moved from that uh, one organization to the next, it wasn't the same thing. There was different ways that business was done, and you had to figure out who the right people were to connect with. You know, that's the same thing in the transition space. You've got those that are going to try to take advantage of you, and then you have those that are really going to try to help you. If anyone wants to charge you a penny to help you with your resume, with your VA disability claim, you know, to set up your LinkedIn profile, say thank you and walk away and reach out to someone like myself, reach out to Vets2Industry, still serving veterans, 4 Block, Veterans Ascend. There's all these amazing, I can go on for probably about 5 hours of just listing the
Yeah.
ones off the top of my head of
Bruce,
resources
I'm gonna take
that are
this
out
as a
there.
segue. I'm gonna take this as a segue really quick because I wanted, because we had this almost for an hour. I wanted to go over this with you right here. This is the what you were talking about earlier. This is the website for Vets2Industry. So I wanted to show everybody how easy it is to just go in there, and you can walk me through it because I know you can see it in your side.
Right. Well,
So
and if you scroll down, I
okay,
mean, first off, you can get the big blue button right there. You can find resources,
yeah, right
and they're
there.
done by state. They're done by type of resources. And as much as we love that green button and the red button,
Yeah.
we're not trying to get you there yet. Once you
Okay.
see how awesome we are, and you want to keep doing it. Hey, we'll take a donation here or there.
Yeah.
But again, if you're a veteran, we got a button for you to click. We got families. If you're looking for our industry partners, you can click in there. Again, there's that crisis line. If you have any kind of negative thoughts, use that crisis line. You know, it's one call. Have a conversation before you do something that you can't undo. Uh, Again, you can go out there. You can find our services. You know,
I'm gonna click because I love when I have guests who have their website because I'd like people to see how the website work. So I'm gonna click
all right.
on find resources to show how easy it is, just like that.
Yeah.
So
So again, you can type in that searching for, and you could put employment.
let's see. Oh, you can search by location.
Yeah, you can go by location.
Hmm.
Uh, again, you can do it by topic, employment via disability, interviewing, LinkedIn, and you're going to find those resources.
Yeah.
And we have resources that are online, and we have resources that are local. And while you're in there, these are some of my favorite ones. Look at Bunker Labs. If you're in there and you want to, start your own business, you
Right
need to be
here.
talking with Bunker Labs.
Man, I wish I knew about Bunker Labs 2 years ago.
I'm telling you, that's what we all are.
Yeah.
There's so many great resources, but the problem is we don't know how to find the resources. We don't know if these resources exist. So until you get some individuals that are like, yeah, let's dig deep into this, but they got a list to their courses, different programs, different communities, how you can become part of the groups. And again, we have a website that encourages you to go to other people's websites. Most websites are set up where we don't want you to leave our website. No, we put all these resources out here and say, no, leave our website and go to these. These are the resources that are there, and they're doing amazing things. Yeah. We're not trying to rewrite the book. We're not here to copy what other people got going on. We are here to assist. And again, you can get a location, you can go by map. But if you go to the top there,
talking about where events,
you cannot see it. We got an events tab, so you can't see the top of the page right now. But as he goes up and click the events, it'll come up right now, and it's going to show you our upcoming events.
Let's see if I can show this tab right here. Oh, I know why this Ashton. Okay, here we go. So this is your events page.
Yes. So if you scroll down, what you're going to see is our last event for 2021.
I'm going to be that one.
It's December 4th, which is a Saturday. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. And again, it goes to 7. This is a Zoom call. Best part about our calls, hop on, hop off, hop back on. Jason Van Camp, Warrior Rising, Mission 60. This guy is going to get you motivated. And again, that's our keynote. And we give him 15 minutes to talk. Then we do a live Q&A with him for 15 minutes. Then we jump in. We let our sponsor talk for a couple minutes. We have all the recruiters give their 30 to 45 second pitch about their organization, what employment opportunities they have available. And then we're going to get you into a breakout session. So I said, our Zoom call holds up to 500 people. We've hit that a couple times. Most times we're in that 350, 380 range. But when you go to the main room, everybody's there. You might have up to 500 people. When we go to breakout rooms, it's 7 to 10 people per room. We have a little code that we have you put in front of your name if you're an employment seeker, if you're a recruiter, if you're a resource, a supporter. And we use those codes to create the breakout rooms. Every room is going to have a V2I facilitator like myself that's going to make sure we keep things going. We're going to have a recruiter. We're going to have a service provider. We want to have as many career seekers as possible because this event's for them. It's all about bringing this together so people can one-stop shop, as we like to call it.
Nice.
And,
I like that. I'm gonna be on that events.
And while we're doing that, you come in there. The room's for 25 minutes. Everybody goes around and gives their professional introduction. That's how we start the rooms. So everybody will go through. They'll say who they are, what they're looking for. It might be something simple. Bruce Thompson, retired Marine, looking for human resource positions in Jacksonville, Florida region. And okay, We get the next one to give their spill. And then when everybody's through and we have those service providers and those recruiters, recruiters like, I have jobs, in HR. I have jobs in logistics. I have jobs in supply chain. I have admin, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I never realized that a hospital had people other than doctors and nurses. And all of a sudden it's like its own city. It's got anything and everything you could ever want. IT, cyber is so popular, so off the charts. Well, hopefully you get some certifications, and you can do that through Onward Opportunity, your services Cool Branch or Cool Program, and get these for free. Hey, go out to that community college and take some courses. Get yourself prepped and ready. So when you make that jump, you're not starting your training, you already have it. And again, that's going to put you further up. And I'll tell you, it's a surprise when civilian employers hear, what do you mean enlisted Marine or enlisted service members have degrees? I thought only officers had degrees.
No.
No. We're getting past those days now.
Yeah.
We joke, if you've done 10 years, you better have a bachelor's degree. But it's all those things. And I will tell you, by the end of this month, we'll have our 2022 schedule published. I've already got it right now. It's being socialized to our leadership, and we're going to make sure that everybody is in agreement with it, and we're going to get it published. We're going to save the dates out there for you, so you can plan your 2022 based off of your transition timeline. But I tell you, we have people that have been to 10, 15, like I said, December 4th, that's our 25th virtual networking event. That's not our 25th event. That's our 25th, 5-hour event. Every quarter, we have a military spouse networking mixer. And we just had our 5th one last month. I'm sorry, we had it beginning of this month. Next year, we're going to be doing those in the second quarter, and it's going to be that first or second weekend. But they focus on military spouses. Our last one, unfortunately, people didn't realize that the topics is focused on military spouses, but the employers are there for everyone. And so we had, maybe a military spouse or two in a room, and there was like 4 or 5 recruiters, and it was like, hey, guess you guys are going to be fighting for this candidate. So you hear some good things. It was good for that one employment seeker. But again, take advantage of these. There's no thing says, well, you can only go to one. I've been to, December 4th will be my 25th virtual networking event. I've been to all of them. And I still learn something new every time I go to it. There are so many resources, great people out there. You don't know what you don't know. And I'll tell you, in transition, we joke. You all don't even know the questions to ask yet. And I don't mean that to talk down to anyone. I'm saying that because you don't understand the high dollar value items. You might be like, well, I'm just trying to find a job. Well, we don't want to talk about jobs. We want to talk about career opportunities. We want to talk about roles that you can grow in, and that you won't be someone like me who leaves a job after 4 weeks, or leaves a job after 9 months. That you don't have those transitions. We can prepare you for that. When it comes to your VA disability claim, we still have far too many people saying, I don't want to take away from someone else, so I'm not going to file one. No. You are not taking away from anyone else. Every single service member, when they depart service, needs to file a VA disability claim. You might get rated at 0% service connected. That's a rating. That qualifies you for federal hiring preferences. That classifies you with the VA that it might be 0% service connected today when you're 22, 23. Well, some of y'all might not realize this, but Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
it's going to hurt you. And for me, I
Yeah,
think I hit a wall at 40
50,
where everything
60.
started hurting. And you
Can
can go
barely get
back
up in the
and have it.
morning, man.
You can have it reviewed, and it can be increased over time. And again, that's a whole other topic, whole other discussion. We
Yeah.
we dive into the VA disability, but before you file your claim, before you go and have those compensation and pension exams, you need to talk to smart people so you understand the process. Uh, I'll tell you, I'm 100% permanent total disabled from the start, but I hope no one has a medical record like mine. Uh, as I collected different MOSs while I was in service by doing different jobs,
Hmm.
I also collected surgeries. So by the time I retired from service, I already had 14 surgeries
Oof.
in service. And I'm not talking about little things. I'm talking like we got to go cut stuff out and put things back in your body that you lost. And I,
Yep.
I don't wish it on anyone, but you got to make sure that those are taken care of.
Exactly.
And we all know that once we get to a certain age or a certain rank, we don't go to medical whatsoever.
No.
You know,
I was in the
we,
medical
we are
field.
our
If
own
if
worst
you think
enemy.
it's bad, I was a corpsman.
Y'all the worst.
Well, we,
Nothing gets into your medical records,
man.
and we all on ship. Man, no records on ship ever make it home.
No, that's not you. They made it home. Don't blame us.
Oh no,
They made it
trust
home.
me. Uh, no, it's one of those ones that hey, I hear a lot of what happened while I was on ship, so we kind of dealt with it, but we didn't really document it the way we should have.
And that's the problem because and I think things are changing, especially for us. Like, okay, who I'm gonna go see? Okay, and even if when I'm in shore and I got some of my buddies or IDC, I say, hey man, I hurt myself right here. Can you look at it? Yeah, he look at it, take care of it, prescription, and we're done. But
Yeah,
we can't do that, guys. We can't do that. You need to go and sit down, check in, get seen, get inputted in the computer system, get your paperwork done the proper way. Trust me, take it from me. Because
yes,
when they're asking you for those questions and you answering it, but there's no paperwork, and you know what? If it's not in writing, it never happened. And you like, no, it did, but they can't do anything. Okay, so that was the lessons I had to learn during my transitions, So,
and,
but
and I'll tell you, I do all of my treatment through the VA, and I have the best primary care physician and team I've ever had. Like I just referred another veteran uh, to my primary care doc, and she went there yesterday, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is the best doctor I've ever had." Like we sat there, and he asked all these questions, and I answered them, and he actually talked with me, And I've got referrals for this, this, and this, and it's like you have to find the doctor that you feel comfortable
I'm
with and
with.
that works for you.
Yeah.
Uh, and I get it because trust me, I didn't go to medical for about 3 years towards the end of my career, and it wasn't because I wasn't ailing. It's because me and the battalion medical officer just we had an unspoken agreement. I didn't go to medical, and they didn't get punched in the face. You know, because I might have some PTSD issues. I'm just saying, but at the same time, when you go through and say, "Hey, this is what's ailing me," and you get them giving you the what are we supposed to do about it? We can't help you. The two hands to the sky and shoulder shrugs. I'm like, okay, I'm a maintenance person, so if it's exceeded your ability, what you do is you write a referral to one of those specialty clinics on the
That's it.
hospital up on the hill.
That's it.
But I was like, why am I telling you how to do your job? Like, but
You
but
know?
no, and I know we've been on here for over an hour.
Yes,
Uh,
Bruce.
and I tell you,
You gotta
we can
come
talk all
back,
night.
bro. You gotta
But
come back, man.
what
You
what
gotta
I
come
definitely
back.
want to leave with the audience that's going to see this, you have to be willing to ask questions, ask for help, both in transition and planning for it. Uh, when you go and do your mandatory DOD training, understand no one can teach you how to transition out of the service and cover all these topics in 3 days. Impossible. They have to go through and they wave top these. So think of your mandatory transition class as college 100 class, entry level. When you go back and you do the workshops at your Soldier for Life, your Fleet and Family, your family readiness programs, whatever your service branch calls them, that's level 200 classes. And then when you go back and you schedule one-on-one time with those facilitators, those people that are paid to understand and know, like, that's your level 300. Don't think you have to get everything from base. Check out online, virtual, remote, and programs out in town in your region. There are plenty of them. You just have to understand how to do this. Do not transition alone. There are so much things that you do not know about. And it's not because you've never tried, it's because there's so many things that I've been out in this space, like I said, for 7 years. I learn something new every week. There's that much stuff that's out there. There's different programs. So get on LinkedIn, create that basic profile, go out and search for a veteran advocate. You're going to find some of us. Reach out to connect with a personalized note, and just let us know. Preparing to transition in X month, looking to find out what resources, information is available to make it a smoother transition. Hell, you can just put transition veteran help. We got you. Yeah. And again, Johnny's in Orlando. I talked to him about a couple things before we came on the air about the Orlando area. I'm in Jacksonville, so I'm 2.5, 3 hours up. But it's a world of difference between when you leave the Northeast Florida region till you get down to that Orlando area. Mm-hmm. And that's because, I've got 3 active duty Navy bases here. I've got a large reserve National Guard base. I've got a Marine Corps Reserve base, a Marine Corps recruiting battalion. I've got Blunt Island, which is a logistics organization for the Marine Corps. You want to find recruiters? Let me tell you, I got so many recruiters. You name it, we got you here. But when you start going away from areas that don't have actual bases, it gets a little bit thinned out. And so now you got to start looking at your veteran organizations. And not all organizations are the same. There's some great ones, and you just have to be able to find the right ones. But I tell you, come check out Vets2Industry. We'll help you figure it out. Veterati is an awesome resource to actually schedule meetings with mentors, and it's a 1-hour phone call. You pick your mentor or mentors, and if you have a bad session, it's 1 hour. Choose another mentor and try it again. You're going to be able to talk to people on so many different things. And again, don't like to write a resume? It's just kicking your butt. Go to Veterans Ascend. They're changing the process by not using resumes, but matching you with their employment partners based off of skill sets. So I tell you right now, I love it. No one likes writing resume after resume, so you can try it there. It's free. Again, and most of the things you're going to find are free. That's my favorite word. It's not because I don't value my time. I don't value what we're doing. It's because we're here to pay it forward, and veterans helping veterans is a true thing. You're never going to be alone, because you're going to look to your left, your right, you're going to find that brother, that sister, and we might have served in different branches. We might have served decades apart. But we all share that common thing is we raised our hand, took an oath, and put on our service uniform, and we stood the watch. So please, we'd love to see you December 4th on Vets2Industries
Yes.
event. We'd love to see you on a lot of these different ones.
But that's the
Reach
last one
out.
for the year. But please, we do have a group. So please, when you get your schedule for next year, share it with me so I can share it with the group, because you guys are doing amazing thing, man. More people need to be aware of what's going on and what you guys are doing. And please share it with me.
Yeah, I'll definitely share it with you. And again, vets2industry.org, events tab. As we publish them, they'll all be right there. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We make sure that we are not hard to find, because that's the one thing we have is there's so many resources, but they're hard to find. So we're out there making it easy. Uh, we're all about, how can we help? How can we pay it forward? So I tell you, Johnny, it has been a great chat with you.
Man, I enjoy.
I hope you get plenty of views and plenty of people reaching out to you and asking questions. And again, I'm not hard to find. So you just reach back out. We'll definitely get some questions done. We're going to talk about, me coming and strong arming Sam.
Yes.
Maybe you'll
If-
see me and Sam on the same one, because
Yes.
I'll be back there holding his hand.
Yeah,
behind his
both
back.
of you, both of you can come at the same time. Tell him. I know he got, like, when he did. I was in O2O when I first saw him doing the LinkedIn thing. He had a PowerPoint, man. He didn't even look at the PowerPoint. It
Oh.
was just like, and the way he
And-
breaks it down, man.
And one of the better things about Sam is Sam's one of those ones that, here's what you see in the front facing, but Sam's gonna break it down and explain to you the math of the algorithms and
Yeah.
if you get extra reviews for your post, then you get to this level,
Yep.
and you can have 100,000 followers, but at any given time, only this many will be on there.
Yep. He
And,
break it down.
and that is a very smart man. I run around with him all the time. We do great things here in the Jacksonville area, but that is one very, very smart airman. Not to mention, I think he has every IT certification
world.
you could ever name.
Yeah. All right, brother. Thank you. Thank you for stopping at Vets Talk. I appreciate your time. Okay, thank you to Vets2Industry. Thank you, Bruce. You took your time and being here and having a conversation with me, and you give us so much information. And I look forward to put that information out, and I look forward to participate in you guys' events. And it's a pleasure. Everybody who was watching, everybody who was under the live, thank you for being here. For those of you who are gonna watch after, if you wanna reach out to Bruce, like he said, he's in LinkedIn. It's not hard. Send him a note. Let him know you saw him in Vets to Talk. You see how easy is the notes? Hey, I saw you in Vets to Talk. And bam, you can start having a conversation with him, and he have a lot of information. This man is a wealth of knowledge, man. Let's connect with one another, and let's do it again. Bruce.
I tell you, I'm always here in support. You got a question, it might take a minute for me to be able to get to that message. I get to that message. LinkedIn is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Federati is the second easiest way. If you try to send me an email, I'll get to it, but that's like the last thing I check. Just being honest about it. So if you go on LinkedIn and you search Bruce Thompson, Mike Bravo Alpha MBA, that's my user ID. You can find me quick, send me a note. Hey, I heard you talking with Johnny on Vets Talk. Good. We'll reach out, we'll connect, we'll have a conversation.
Exactly.
So thank you for everything you're doing, Johnny.
Man, thank you.
Thank
you.
I'm going to help you connect with more people there in the Tampa, Orlando.
You let me know,
Space
man.
Coast area.
Listen, this platform is open, and I love having conversation with other people because that's a way for me to learn more things. So, and I'm putting that content out at the same time. So when I reach out to somebody and I say, hey, I just want to talk to you, I just want to know, it's because I really want to have a genuine conversation with you and know what's going on with your program, with you, your business, and your job, whatever you have to offer. Because if I want to hear it, I'm sure other people want to hear it too. So, and we're just a big community. We just want to talk to one another and just share, man. And it's just like the old days. I mean, we can talk forever, but we just we just sit down and talk, you know. And sometimes that's what we're missing sometimes. And so much information came out here, and this is a connection like for a lifetime, man. And I know, hey, now if I got a question, I definitely know who I can ask, and now other people gonna know as well. And we have a group. We got about almost 200 people. That if some of them, if 10% knew about Vets2Industry, when I post it, nobody seemed to know. But now we have about 200 other veterans who say, "Oh, hey, Vets2Industry, hey, let's hit them up and see what they're about." Right. And I hope all of you guys show up to that event.
And I'll tell you, once you post this, you know I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to post it in my network. And we're going to get that Vets Talk. We're going to get you a couple more followers.
Man.
Because we're all about growing by word of mouth.
Yes.
Vets2Industry, been around for about 2.5 years. We have not paid a single penny in marketing. Everything we've done has been word of mouth.
Yep. Same here.
And it can be done because I tell you, military veterans, we are so tight that if one another tells us this is something to check out, we're going to check it out. And then we're going to share it with our friends. Once we've personally vetted it, we're going to share it.
Exactly.
So we're going to help you grow too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. This is a passion project, and when I came with it, and I enjoy it, and I have fun doing it, and I at the same time I'm learning so much. You know, it's like a university for me. I'm learning so much. So that's why I keep hitting people, and the people say, yeah, I'm going to come and talk to you. And it's been great. And yeah, definitely. If anybody in your network, anybody who have a program or something they're doing, please come on. Let me know about it. Let's talk about it. Let's share it. And who knows, more people are going to know about it. That's just how it is.
Love it.
All right. All right, Bruce, don't go anywhere. Stay in the green room because we're going to say goodbye to everybody. Everybody, see you later. We'll see you next time. Thank you for being here with Vets Talk. Woo! We were here with Bruce, the man, the myth, not the legend. He's way more than that. That's right, man. Hey, guys, thank you. Thank you for being here with Vets Talk. Thank you for listening to Bruce. Thank you for watching him. And I guarantee you, if you missed this live, please go back and review it. Vets2Industry. I mean, I just check out the website. It's huge. It's a lot of information. Listen, they have an event coming up December 4th. Check it out. I mean, you don't have nothing to lose. Trust me. It's a good program. All right, guys. Good night. And I see you guys probably next week. No, not next week. It's Thanksgiving. No way. I'll see you guys in December. All right. Hold tight.